Okay, so we realized that those were not equivalent. So on the back of this page, we're going to look at proportion relationships and finding missing values. Okay, so we are going to set up a set of equivalent fractions, kind of. So first, let's do 3 over 4 and 15 over 12. Okay, so we're going to first figure out, again, if these are equivalent in just a moment. Okay, is there a number that will go into both 15 and 12? Yes, that number would be 3. So if I divide these, 15 divided by 3 is 5. 12 divided by 3 is 4. Okay, so these here are not equivalent. Okay, that's another way that you could be looking at it. Okay, and then one more set of, well, we're going to do proportional relationships and find missing values now. Okay, so first one, I'm trying to pick one that we did not use in your practice assignment. Okay, so we have 3 and a missing value over 18 and then 36. Okay, so these are proportional relationships. These are actually equivalent fractions here. So what we need to do is figure out what this missing value is. So just like we did on the front, whenever we found our equivalent fractions or equivalent ratios this way, you could do so with a proportional relationship as well. However, I mean, again, this still works. You can use it. However, it's not as efficient as we work on finding the missing value, okay? So again, I'm just going to pick out 2 quick proportional relationships. Let's do 4, 5, and 8, 10. So what that would mean is, because I gave an example of one that was not, let's give an example of one that was. So it was 4, 5, and 8, 10. Okay, so these are equal to each other. Okay, so if I take 4 times 2, I get 8. 5 times 2, I get 10. Right here, we're trying to figure out the relationship. So there are 2 ways that you can look at this, okay? So we have 3, again, over x, and 18 over 36. Okay, so the very first one is going to be multiplication. Okay, so we're going to do 3 times 36 here. We're going to multiply this way as well. And let's do 18 times x. Okay, so again, in this particular example, we're going to be multiplying. So we're going to multiply 3 times 36. And we get 108. And then we get 18x. Okay, the opposite of multiplying is dividing by 18. So x is equal to 6. So the missing number down here is 6. Okay, another way that you can look at it, if this does not make sense to you, is I think 3 times what gives me 18? Well, that number was 6. So that means that something times 6 gives me 36. That number is 6 as well. So my proportional relationship is 3 over 6 and 18 over 36. Okay, you could have also drawn the double number line in this case. So we could have started off with 3, 6. Oh, we didn't have 3, 6. We had 18 over 36. And we could start moving our way backwards if we wanted to. So I know that this top number was 3. Okay, so I can start removing or dividing by 3 each and every time. So if I did 18 and I took away 6, took away 3, I'm sorry, not dividing by 3. And I took away 3, I would get 15. I would take away 3. I would get 12. Take away 3, I would get 9. Take away 3, I would get 6. Okay, and we had no idea what this bottom number was. But here I knew that my relationship from 3 to 18 was adding 3 6 times. Or 3 times 6 gave me 18. So here I can divide by that number because again, I realized that 3, I'm going to write over that blue, 3 times 6 gave me 18. So I can also divide by 6 down here to get this missing value. Okay, so again, there are multiple ways to figure it out. Two of the easiest ways that I like is the proportional relationship where you multiply across, or we also just do some thinking outside the box and find a relationship there. Okay, so let's do one more just to clear the air. Okay, let's do 36 over 48 is equal to x over 4. Okay, so option number 1 is doing the multiplication, so 48 times x, and then 36 times 4. Okay, if I was to do 36 times 4, let's put this number in 36 because I multiplied it up here too. I get 144, and then 48x. Okay, the opposite would be dividing by 48 because this was multiplication here. And 144 divided by 48 gives me 3. So x is equal to 3. So again, 3. Okay, something else that you can think of, okay, is with my proportional relationships here, okay, there is a relationship with multiplying to go from, and I'm going to write it in the opposite way. Let's do x over 4. Let's put the smaller one over here. And then 36 over 48. So flip them around so it's easier to see. Okay, so there's a number. 4 times what can give you 48? So again, since I don't know that, let's think the opposite. So I know it's multiplying, but if I go back this way, that would be division or doing the opposite of that. So we need to do 48 divided by 4. Okay, and that number is 12. So if I multiply by 12, I get 48. Okay, whatever this number is, if I multiply it by 12, okay, I'm going to get 36. So let's work in the opposite. 36 divided by 12, and that number is 3. Okay, so either way, we can find our proportional relationships. Again, this was 3, 4 is equal to 36 over 48. So if you prefer the cross multiplying, you can use it. If you prefer kind of the guess and check and working backwards with multiplication and division, that will work as well. Okay, so that was page 7 of your notebook. Okay, we are also going to be looking at different tables one more time because we need to complete the table. Okay, so this is going to be continued on to page 8. Okay, and now we're going to work on completing the table. So let me get out my table notes very quickly for you. Okay, so our first one is we are going 322 miles in 7 hours. Okay, we need to find the miles per hour. Okay, so we need to set up a table with hours and miles. Okay, we want to know 1, 4, 7, and 10. And again, I just pulled out random numbers. I do know that in 7 hours, this person went 322 miles. Okay, so we're going to start setting up some equivalent fractions and proportional relationships. Okay, so with that being said, we're going to do my miles per hour. So miles needs to go on top. So 322 miles over 7 hours. Okay, so first, the easiest way, because there could be some decimals hanging out somewhere, is that we are going to find the unit rate, or we're going to divide this into simplest form. So we're going to do 322 divided by 7. Okay, so again, we're going to divide those two, and my unit rate is 46 miles per hour. Okay, and we're going to use that unit rate to find additional numbers. So we're going to do 1 times 46, and that number is 46. We're going to do 4 times 46 to fill in my table, and that number is 184. And then let's do 10 times 46. And that number is 460. Okay, so first I found my unit rate, and I used my unit rate to fill in my additional values. Okay. Let's do one more for this particular video. If you're with me on Zoom today, you know that we did a couple more, but that's okay. In a notebook, we're just going to do one more. So in 4 months, 104 gallons were used. Okay, so we're going to fill out a table with months. And then gallons. The months that I had pulled out to know is 1, 2, 3, and 4. We already know that in 4 months, 104 gallons were used. Okay, and so first we need to find my unit rate. So we're going to do how many gallons were used in each month. So we're going to go gallons to month. So we're going to do 104 divided by 4. And that number is 26. So yeah, 26 gallons per month. Okay, so then we're going to use that unit rate, which is 26, and we're going to multiply it across my table to find additional values. So 1 times 26 is 26. 2 times 26 is 52. And 3 times 26 is 78. Okay, so again, these are all ended up becoming proportional relationships as well. And then also equivalent fractions, and then also completing the table. So today we're going to be working on all of that. If you are watching this video while we are virtually learning, I don't know why I can't say that word today, and we are on notebook pages 8 and 7, or 7 and 8. Good luck today on your independent practice.